everyone tonight to our City Council Forum. This is the first of two. The next one, if you're interested in coming back and seeing some more of these candidates, is on November 2nd at 7 p.m. My name is Brent Hinders. I'm the moderator tonight. Mark Miller is the timekeeper. We will be going until approximately 9 p.m. tonight, or whenever we get through all of our questions. So thank you again for coming out, and thank you, candidates, for taking the time tonight. But as I stated before, it starts at 7, we'll end approximately 9 p.m. Each candidate has a chance to make an opening statement, which is limited to 3 minutes. The order of speaking has been drawn randomly. Only the candidate is allowed to speak on their own behalf. Representatives are not allowed. You're given 3 minutes to answer a question. Questions have been submitted ahead of time by the audience or chamber members, and each of you will be given 2 minutes for your closing remarks. And as we have selected randomly, Mrs. Reba, please give us your opening statement and tell us what has motivated you to seek a council position as well.
I'm Stephanie Riva, and I'm a small business owner that operates out of a home office, so I both live and work in Norwalk full-time. I have 2 businesses. In the first, I'm a copy editor and proofreader working on a freelance basis. I work on a variety of projects, but mostly work on fiction manuscript copy editing. I also have a business where I design and make jewelry that I sell through an art gallery in Des Moines. I am a chartered financial analyst, and that is basically a CPA for the investment world. And I have 25 years of commercial real estate experience prior to starting my businesses. I started in loan production, which is underwriting mortgages, kind of like home mortgages, except for I did it on commercial properties like regional shopping centers and office buildings. Over time, I moved out of loan production, and I went into more project management for special projects, strategy, business development, including mergers and acquisitions. At the time that I resigned my position, which I did, it enabled me to pursue my second career in copy editing. I was a managing director at Principal Global Investors, and I led all the product development efforts for its real estate division. Because of my time in investments, I understand commercial development. I have great experience in financial analysis, business plan development, contract negotiations, and working on and managing highly complex transactions. I would bring these skills to City Council if I'm elected. In addition to the paid work, I spent considerable time over the past 30 years on community volunteer work. I've served on numerous boards and committees, usually in a leadership position. Specific to Norwalk, I've been on the Planning and Zoning Commission since 2008 and have chaired it since 2010. I've been on every economic development committee in all its various forms in the past 7 years. I was on a steering committee for the Comprehensive Plan Update, the Comp Plan, and on the Norwalk Community Infrastructure Group, which you might know as NCIS. In addition to all that, I also have been and still am a regular attendee at City Council meetings, and I believe that I'm well informed about the city's operations and its challenges it faces. The comp plan is important because it's a roadmap for managing the current operations and the future growth of the city, and I believe that will be significant growth in the next 10 years. If elected, I won't need to spend hours studying the comp plan to get up to speed. I'll be able to hit the ground running because I know what the comp plan says. I helped write it. I appreciate you being here tonight, and I hope I can show you over the next 2 hours that I would be an excellent City Council member, and you should vote for me. Thank you.
Mr. Cool, time for your opening statement and why you are seeking a council position.
Yes, sir. First, I'd like to thank the Chamber and the city for hosting the event, and the folks for coming out tonight. We appreciate it, especially when there's better activities going on this evening. The reason that I would like to be a council member is I enjoy interaction with the public, I enjoy service to the community. And to be honest about it, I miss it. I think it's something that I would enjoy doing. I think, like the other candidates here, our backgrounds have prepared us in different ways to have a role as a council person. My background is in city government. It's in law enforcement. I've had 40 years of policing and 15 years as a police chief, particularly here in this community. I believe I'm very familiar with the operation of city government. I'm familiar with formulation of budgets, experience as these other two very good individuals away from government and service in the military and employment in the private sector. There are things that are learned there. I enjoy serving the community. I've been a member of the Chamber Board now for over 12 years, and was a past president of the Chamber, currently vice president. I enjoy my role there, working with other people from the community, business leaders, and welcoming new businesses to town and helping to recruit them in. I also enjoy my role that I've been able to work with the Ministerial Association in the community and trying to do good work that's helpful there. David's also involved in that. I'm grateful for it. I think that my background and my experience would allow me to assist the community, would allow me to help the government flow better as an organization. I understand the council and how it works. I understand the process. And I believe that if I'm selected, I will do my best to represent all the people of the community, particularly the 9,000 that aren't in the room when a decision is made, as well as what's before the council. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Poole. Mr. Lester, time for your opening statement, and give let us know what motivated you to seek a council position.
I'd like to start out by thanking everybody for coming out tonight and the Chamber for hosting this event. My name is David Lester, and I'm running for Norwalk City Council. I am from Norwalk. I grew up here. In and around the area, I didn't live in town my whole life. I did live in the country for a few years. After high school, I attended Iowa State, and I received 2 degrees. I have a finance degree and an accounting degree, and I'm a CPA. I've seen Norwalk grow from this small little town, kind of secluded from everybody. It seemed like it was forever to get to Des Moines. You know, the drive to Des Moines was a long drive, and you planned out your trips. And now it's, oh, let's run to Des Moines. Well, I don't like saying let's run to Des Moines. That's one of the things that I've wanted to change for years, and so I don't. I try not to run to Des Moines if I don't have to. It's one of the things that I've seen our town struggle with is getting some more commercial business, but as it goes, there's very little that we have to say, boy, I have to run to Des Moines now. Because we need to be supporting our local businesses, and I don't feel like our council has in the past always done that in their bidding and in their processes, and I don't think they've always weighed that into consideration. It's something I feel is important. I bring leadership experience and community involvement to the City Council. I'm an Eagle Scout from here in Norwalk. I've been involved with and a leader of Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, the Chamber of Commerce. I was a past president there. Norwalk Christian Church, Norwalk Soccer Club, Norwalk Lions Club in Easter Seals, Iowa. I put a lot of thought into why I'm running, and it boils down to 2 words, and it's that I care. I care about the direction that the city goes, because I've been in and around it all my life. I care about how the policies, the laws, the regulations that go into effect not just the neighborhood, not just a person, not just a business, but the entire city. I want to see Norwalk be the best it can be. I want to not only help lead the city now, but make it a place we're all proud of in 20 years and beyond. I want to listen to the citizens, push for an open and transparent city government meeting the needs of its citizens. I believe that sharing of why decisions are made goes a long ways into helping in that transparency and trusting of its city officials, both elected and non-elected. I hope that in the future that our council meetings can be shared online, whether live, taped, somehow, so that those that can't make the meetings can get there. Another big issue still seems to be the lack of commercial development. As a city council member, I wouldn't change what I'm doing now. I probably would add to it. You know, I ask people, consider Norwalk. Make Norwalk your home. Make Norwalk your place for your business. Thank you, and hope that tonight you'll say, I'm going to vote for David Lester. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Poole, we'll start with you on this question. Mr. Poole, you talked a little bit about your experience in government and the military and the private sector. What other areas do you believe you can contribute, and what is going to be one thing that you really focus on as a city council person?
I think one of the areas that I'm particularly interested in is fiscal management of the city. And I believe that it would be beneficial to the community, certainly beneficial for the council, to have a status report routinely on the expenditures of city government and how that stacks up against the budgeting plan. That should be a part of a regular council session. It doesn't have to be real lengthy because the plan itself could be a summary, and the briefing could be on those items that, for one reason or another, are not in line with what was anticipated. I think that's important because it's easier to steer a ship along the course with small corrections as opposed to having to make really big ones. The other reason that's important is that I learned a long time ago that what the boss checks becomes important. And it becomes important for a whole organization. And I think that we have good city employees here, I really do. I'm familiar with most of them. But it's better to keep a ship on course than to have to make corrections. And I think this would be one way to do that. And it could be very effective and serve us very well.
Thank you. Mr. Lester, same question to you. You've talked about your leadership and your work in the community as well. What other contributions can you bring to the council, or how can those contributions you previously mentioned help with what focus you're going to give on your efforts in the council?
I've seen the last 5, 6 years, 2 different councils in that time frame spend dollars in ways that frustrate me, irritate me at times, and most notably, the one that kind of pushed me into saying I'm going to run again was we spent $15,000 on an architect to tell us that the library roof had 3 options. Replace it with the existing stuff, replace it with new stuff, or do a partial replacement. To me, that was a complete waste of dollars. I can't fathom spending $15,000 when you could go talk to a roofing contractor and ask that same question and get it for free, because they would provide it in a bid. That was kind of what spawned me to push to make this run at this point. But I've seen it in other areas. I just think that fiscally, I hear from our staff off and on, they say, oh, we don't have the money to do that. We don't have the money to do that. Well, we need to fill these positions, but we don't have the money for that. And I just question from the budget perspective, where the numbers are coming from and how we're spending our dollars. And that's what's frustrated me. I know it's frustrated several other people as I talk to them in the community. So I would bring my sense of fiscal responsibility, my management styles that way. I'd like to look kind of big picture and see where we're at. But I think it's all goal driven, and I don't know that you're going to see. I'm not going to be a yes person up here. I'm not going to say yes to everything that staff brings up here just because they say it's what we need to do. I'm going to probably look at it, form my own opinion. I know I've heard council members say that for years, and then I get up here and I hear them say yes to everything, and it drives me nuts. So I'm here. I'm an independent voice. I'm going to listen to the people, and then they say we don't want to spend money on this. We want to spend money on this instead. That's where we need to be.
Mrs. Reed, the same question to you. You talked about your financial, real estate, and other background. How do you believe that those areas, as well as other areas of experience, can help you on the council? And what will be an issue that you really focus on as a council member here in Norwalk?
Well, my financial background will help me to look at the different projects, the expenditures that are proposed, and really analyze them from a cost-benefit perspective. We should be getting out more than what we're putting into any project that we fund. One area that I really focused on is growth. The city council needs to provide oversight for the city as far as how it spends its dollars, and that's critical, but it's also critical for the city council to take a leadership and visionary role and help the community grow, because it will grow. So make sure that it's growing in a responsible and a smart, balanced manner. So there's two roles to be played there. In my experience in the business world, I have developed a lot of strategy plans. I am very skilled at developing business plans, putting the dollars and cents together, figuring out the roadmap of how we're going to get from A to B, and I can bring that experience to the city. As far as expenditures, you know, sometimes it doesn't make sense on the face of it how money is spent, but I think it's important that we look at all expenditures as, you know, are we doing short-term fixes to fix a long-term problem? And if that's the case, it shouldn't be that way. Sometimes you need to spend money to make money, if that makes sense. So, you know, maybe you need to spend money for a new road. You have to balance that with repairing existing infrastructure, because that new road will bring development to town. Those new businesses will help pay taxes and lower the tax burden. So the city has to not only look at the everyday operations, that's why we have city staff, and I think a very competent city staff, but we also need to provide that leadership and that vision.
Mr. Lester, you stated before that you are a long-term resident of Norwalk. You've seen it grow. My question to you is, how big do you want to see Norwalk grow? And what are your ideas to handle the growth of the city?
Fortunately, I don't have to tell you exactly that Norwalk's going to stay Norwalk that it is today. 20 years ago, it wasn't the same as it is today, and 20 years from now, I honestly believe that Norwalk's going to be approaching 25 or 30,000 people. It's going to happen. Where we're located, where we're situated, it's going to happen. And with that, we're going to have things to manage. We're going to have people to manage, we're going to have roads and infrastructure to manage, but we're going to also have to deal with the policing, we're going to have to deal with the fire protection, we're going to have to deal with other things. And what I see, ideally, I don't necessarily say I like Norwalk at 25,000, I like Norwalk at 30, I like Norwalk at 50. I like Norwalk, and I guess if we manage the growth appropriately and take care of ourselves, take care of our citizens that we have in place today, and grow responsibly, we can learn from other cities that have not grown responsibly and kind of run into roadblocks and problems with their developments. And I think that that's something that we can manage from our side of things, and I guess growth is going to come whether we want to or not. So I'm hoping that the growth we get is good, that it's manageable, and that we can make it so that it's not going to balloon out of control at this point.
Mrs. Reed, the same question to you. How big would you like to see Norwalk grow? And what are your ideas on how to handle Norwalk's impending growth?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't know how large I want Norwalk to grow. What's important to me is that when it grows, it preserves its sense of community. As I mentioned, the comp plan is the roadmap, and that document is so important because it outlines how we can foster development in the community in a way that balances existing business and residents' needs with the needs of the ones that are coming in. And so that includes bringing in businesses that are complementary to and provide synergy with existing businesses, meets residents' needs, and creates jobs. From a residential area perspective, we need to look at both development and redevelopment of neighborhoods in a way that they remain connected. So whether that's through unified signage, recreation facilities, trails, just thinking about how to connect everybody, that is going to be critical. And if you do that in a thoughtful manner, if you look at that growth in a thoughtful way, you can grow the city without losing that sense of community, without losing the sense of the family-friendly environment and the public safety that comes with that.
Mr. Cool, again, same question to you. How big would you like to see Norwalk grow? And what skills, abilities, or ideas do you have to handle Norwalk's growth as a council member?
I think that people move to Norwalk for a reason, and they enjoy the atmosphere, they enjoy the community. We enjoy the convenience, obviously, that we have with the metro. Wife and I love it here. We've got grandchildren here now, and we're here to stay. The growth and the development that the community has to be done in such a way that it balances it so that we don't lose that feeling, that atmosphere that makes our community special, that makes it different than all the others. That's accomplished through the community development, comprehensive development plan, where the community comes together and you get input from all different sources that really paint a puzzle picture of what Norwalk should look like in the future. The rate of growth obviously is a variable because it depends on so many factors. You know, the economy, local as well as national, is a big player in that. But I believe the council's role is to be the arbitrator and the fair player of putting together that community development plan, making sure that they have the proper mix of input from the community, and then in the way that they approach those developments, both participating in the recruiting of different entities to come in, the types of entities that they select that will be not only compliant with the plan, but be beneficial and good quality to our community. I think that the council's role is key. It's key the way they plan building codes. It's key the way they set their parameters for development within certain areas. And all that has to be done within the scope of the comprehensive plan. My background is that I participated in the developments of those plans, and obviously attended the functioning when these things took those steps that came to be. So I believe I could make a contribution there, and I would enjoy making a contribution there.
Mrs. Rigg, moving on to the next question. We previously talked about complementary businesses in Norwalk. What is one business or type of business you would like to see move to Norwalk that we don't currently have?
As a small business owner, I would love to see an office supply store. Someplace that I can provide, buy my reams of paper, my ink, get computer support, run off large copy, requirements. I mean, something I could just go down the street and do that. Now I currently have to go to West Des Moines to do that. I'd like to keep that business local if I could. And that's something that I think any business in Norwalk would be able to benefit from. And it's something that we don't currently have now.
Question to you, Mr. Cool. What's a business or type of business that you would like to see located in Norwalk that isn't currently located in Norwalk right now?
What I would like to see is development, particularly along Highway 28, that would be more of a business environment, that would be professional offices, maybe a mix of restaurants and that type of thing. I think one of the other strategies that we can use to draw businesses, whether it's a office store or another one, when our newest grocery store located here, they located here with the understanding that they would not only have the customers on the Norwalk base, but they could also draw from the south side of Des Moines. And that was very effective for them, and they do a lot of business from Southsiders. And I'd like to see us push that strategy, you know, to provide a base and a means to be able to recruit other businesses here into our community. As far as, you know, particular businesses and that sort of thing. Myself, I'd like to see those quality businesses up and down the highway. That's what I'd like to see, something that sets the tone for the community as people come in. And so that's what I would like to see drawn to that area.
Mr. Lester, same question to you. What one business or type of business would you like to see located in Norwalk that is not currently located in Norwalk?
I've actually spent quite a bit of time thinking about this because it's something that's important. And earlier I said I like to support Norwalk businesses, and I always said, I used to love saying, oh, let's run to Des Moines, let's run to West Des Moines. But now it's more, okay, why do we need to go there? What can't we get here that we can get, that we need to run to town for? And I've kind of got two things on my list. The office supply store. It pops up once in a while when you can't find something in town. You can get some stuff at Dollar General and Scotts and Fairleigh. You can pick some of that stuff at those places, but you sometimes need to run to town and pick stuff up. But the other one that I run into a lot is a lumberyard. I talk to a lot of people who say, hey, boy, I wish I didn't have to run to town to go pick up timber force. I wish I didn't have to run to town to pick up some pipe. I need large quantities of pipe. I need this, I need that. But really a lumberyard of some sort. Indianola has one, it's had one for years. There used to be one on the south side of Des Moines. Menards kind of drove it out of business. I remember going to that one as a kid. But that's the type of store that I'd love to see here in town, is something that provides that need for the things that we don't already have here in town, so that we can all keep shopping locally and not have to say, oh, let's run to Des Moines, let's run to West Des Moines. Those would be my two. The office supply store and the lumberyard would be the two that I really would push that we need in town.
Thank you. Next question to Mr. Cool. Mr. Cool, in the past there has been criticism of the council, undue or otherwise, that the council members only represent certain positions or certain neighborhoods. What would you do to advocate to unify the council and build consensus in the council to help the entire community?
Sure. I think it's important that the community come together, particularly around decisions, when decisions are made through the process. As a police chief, one of the things that I tried to accomplish was that I tried to work with the entire community and be involved and relate and be accessible personally to people from all across the community. I met with neighborhood meetings across the city. Certainly a person would do that. One of the things, though, that's really key, I think, across the spectrum is communications and information. I think we need to do a better job as a community to put information out there, to get feedback. We need to do that as a part of the process when we're decision making. So you have 3 readings of an ordinance, for example. Okay? In the newspaper, we see an outline. Okay, this is the agenda. We're going to talk about this. Okay, well, I'm sorry, but that one line on the agenda does not tell a whole heck of a lot to the general public. And it would be nice, either through the city website, maybe through a newspaper, maybe through the magazine, whatever, but to communicate a better description about what decisions are in front of the council, and maybe even a discussion of possible consequences of those decisions. You know, pros and cons and how they might impact on the community at large. I think that would be good. And then a mechanism for feedback so that people can comment back, whether that's, you know, by email, certainly that's available. My phone's always been listed. As long as I've been here, it's still listed in the phone book. I think that And looking back on the times that I've seen elected officials really get off step was when they hurried a decision, when they weren't slow.